Welcome back, trainers. So we're going to be doing a little comparison with Dragonite, one with Dragon Tail and one with Dragon Breath to see the performance going head to head. Now I know a lot of you already know that Dragon Breath is going to be performing better, but how much better? We're going to go ahead and see here in just a moment. And fortunately enough, both of our Dragonites do have Dragon Claw, so we'll be able to test it in that regard as well. So we're going to be taking a look at some numbers from the Go Hub so we can do a little comparison before we hop into the PvP so you have a better understanding on how it works. And for the newer players, Dragon Breath is going to be Legacy. That means you cannot obtain that anymore unless somebody just simply has it. Same with Dragon Claw. And here we have various different quick moves as well as Dragon Breath and Dragon Tail. So let's go ahead and start with Dragon Tail. That's going to have a power of 9, energy of 10, duration of 3, damage per turn 3, energy per turn 3.33. Now if we look to Dragon Breath, it's going to have a power of 4, energy of 3, duration of 1, that's what's making it so good, damage per turn 4, and energy per turn 3. So yes, it's not doing as much damage, but here in just a moment you're going to see how more dominant it is going to be over Dragon Tail. Now Dragon Tail is obviously a darn good move for sure, but it's just not going to be on par with that Legacy there. Now if you're a bit confused about the energy and energy per turn, just think of the move charging up your energy bar. As you can see in this image here, different moves will charge it up quicker or slower depending on how much, well, energy they have per turn. Simple as that. And also keep in mind before we hop into these PvP battles that Dragon Tail is going to be more ideal when you're doing raid battles. It's just going to be all around better. PvP just has a totally different mechanic when it comes down to it. Now going up against Chirk, he is the Legacy King. I'm pretty sure here in Anchorage, double legacies on so many Pokemon. So here we go, and there are the IVs of my Dragonite right there. Both of them are going to be level 31.5. His is going to be a lower IV, sitting at about, I do believe, 50%. Now for the first two Dragonites, we kind of wanted to simulate an actual PvP battle where two players would just be going at it and possibly using shields, because you know that Dragon Claw is going to just rip right through you, being super effective. So his does have the Dragon Breath, mine has Dragon Tail, and he is ahead. It doesn't look like much, but you will see I am going to faint first because that Dragon Breath is just so much more dominant. Now I was able to get my Dragon Claw a lot quicker. I'm not too sure if he was just not able to tap, but he will be using his shield nonetheless, and then just simply wiping me out with that Dragon Breath, and down it goes. So I will be putting in my Staraptor going up against this Machamp here in just a moment. He just threw it in for fun because it is a double legacy with Karate Chop and Stone Edge. So we're just messing around right now and working our way through it. So after this, you're going to see my Kingdra go in here. And once this Machamp fades out, we're going to hop into the Kingdra, and just look how fast the health is going to deteriorate once the Dragonite comes in with that Dragon Breath. Now he does have that Dragon Breath and Dragon Pulse, another double legacy Dragonite, just killing it over here. So I'm going to finish it off with an Outrage, okay? Now let's go ahead and go into the next one. The first battle on each of these segments here is going to be the key focus mostly. So we have another Dragonite versus Dragonite. This time we're just going to be using our quick moves. No charge, no shield. There's no shield anyways if you can't use your charge, right? And take a look at the Dragon Breath. Just destroying. Look. And it's out. There you go. That's pretty much all the proof you kind of need. So if you know anybody who used to play or currently still does play and has a Dragonite with Dragon Breath, you may want to ask them if you can take that off their hands, if they're not currently using it, obviously, because those things are absolutely beastly when it comes down to PvP. But like we went over earlier, it's not going to be ideal for raids. It's not going to be horrible either, but Dragon Tail is going to be what you want on that Dragonite if you're fighting a raid boss, period. Now, when Latios and Latias came out, I personally had about, I'd say, 3 Dragonites with Dragon Breath, and guess what? I TM'd them. Yeah! So I can do the duo and trios. That's just great. But fortunately enough, I still have one, thanks to Elegantly when we made our trade. Okay, so here we go. Jinx versus Dragonite. The Jinx is going to have Frost Breath and Avalanche. And that Dragonite is going to have Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw. And it is up to do its move. And I'm just going to take it because at this point, even if I was to block, it would have just finished me off with that Dragon Breath. And I would have barely been able to get that Avalanche off. Yes, they probably would have, but we're just doing some random tests here. So moving on to Machamp, and just going to let him continue to get those off. and I'm just going to hold off on using my specials here, as you will see. And then in comes the Legacy Machamp again. And if you're wondering, is the Legacy Stone Edge on Machamp even great? Absolutely. Especially if you had a secondary move purchased, say Dynamic Punch and then Stone Edge alongside it. That is a devastating combination. You'll be able to take out those flying types with no problem if you are able to even get off that charge. Now in comes his second Legacy Dragonite, and I'm just going to make him sweat a little bit, make him use that shield. There we go. And just watch how that Dragon Breath still tears through steel types like Metagross with ease, and then he's going to just finish it off. Now for these next battles, I'm going to be using a full Dragon team, Dragonite, Kingdra, and Latios. The Latios has Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw, which is actually fantastic. I just personally don't like to use legendaries other than for these tests here. And then the Kingdra is completely maxed out. Unfortunately, barely missing the Ultra League, which is just wacky. So we're going to get off that Dragon Claw here. And he's going to block it. And of course, he is ahead there. As you can tell, that Dragon Breath is just always going to win over Dragon Tail, no matter what. It's just that much better. And he's going to just finish it off. I decide to just let him hit me there. Now, I did do a test with Scarlet a while back. I did not record it, I'm pretty sure. But I was using a Dragonite with Dragon Breath, and she had a Kingdra with Dragon Breath. Now, the Kingdra performed a little bit better, seeing that it was in the Great League, where it's going to be powered up a little bit more than Dragonite's peak potential as far as the CP goes. So think about that. If you're trying to get a Dragonite with Dragon Breath into the Great League, it's not a horrible option, but Kingdra is probably going to be more ideal. Now in comes the Latios, which is going to be a fantastic substitute if you can't get your hands on one of these Legacy Dragonites. It is going to be a legendary, so your opponent's just going to have to look past that. It's not that big a deal, personally, I think. This is one of those legendaries, though, that you are going to probably want to use in PvP because it does have the multiple charge move and that fantastic quick move. So in comes the Arcanine with Bite Legacy, and it's just ripping through the Latios. Good night. Your Dragon Breath is not going to save you here today, said the Arcanine, so ouch. Okay, now this next test is going to be an Articuno, but there's a catch. It's pretty much maxed out. It's level 39, and that Dragonite is level 31. So it's not really fair. I wasn't going in here with the intent of, the disadvantage like that, but after we started the battle, then I thought to myself, oh, oops, that is a much lower CP than mine. So anyways, because we're in the Master League. But you're going to see, though, I'm going to get mine here in just a moment. And that is going to be from his Legacy Omastar. Just going to completely wipe out my team because I was anticipating a full Dragon team. Also, another move to consider on your Articuno is going to be Ice Wind for a 3 charge bar. So yeah, my team is about to get destroyed by this Legacy Omastar right about here. On my Gardevoir, I do have Confusion, Dazzling Gleam, and Shadow Ball. Its secondary charge move is going to be Charge Beam, which will be more ideal to get those charge moves up a lot quicker. I just personally don't use Gardevoir in PvP too much because it's completely maxed out in the Master League, and I'd just rather use something else. And I'm also low on TMs, and yes, even quick TMs. And the Omastar is making quick work with my Togekiss as well. No more shields, rest in peace, Rock Slide, down I go. So I do have one of those as well as a Rock Slide, but he has the double legacy. Now into the next battle, I'm actually going to be using a Lapras at level 39. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to. I just wanted to test the endurance of that Dragonite, and it's actually going to perform quite well. The Lapras is going to have Frost Breath and Ice Beam. The Ice Beam is going to be Legacy, and still the Dragonite is holding up fantastically, being at the disadvantage, level 31.5. The Lapras with the 4 times effectiveness against it, and being at level 39, it's still getting wrecked by that Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw, Dragonite. So that's pretty much case closed, folks. How good is the Dragon Breath Dragonite with Dragon Claw, double legacy? It's absolutely beastly when it comes down to PvP. So next time you see somebody who doesn't really play and maybe you want to take a look at their inventory and grab that from them really quick. And who knows, it just might be a fairly old one and turn out to be lucky. So the Lapras is going to go down here, and we're going to bring in the Gardevoir. Alright, and once again, I was kind of set up for a Dragon team. And before I let you guys go, for reference, if you do have a Dragonite with Dragon Pulse and you're thinking, oh, I have one of those. Yes, well, I mean, it's cool that you have it and everything, but Outrage is going to be a whole lot better. You're going to want the Dragon Claw Legacy for sure. So Outrage is doing 110, Dragon Pulse is doing 90 damage. And then the energy required to do these moves for Outrage is going to be 60, and for Dragon Pulse 60 as well. So it's going to take the same amount of time for Dragon Pulse. Just thought I'd let you guys know that really quick. So don't try to pursue that set specifically too much unless you're just a Legacy collector. And if you're wondering why I sound a little bit different, I am kind of going through some wacky things right now, and I'm just in another world. I'm still staying to the YouTube videos and getting them done. So if you can please leave a like on this video, that would be much appreciated, guys. Seriously, in these times, I really need it. Yeah, I would love to go into details, but just know I'm dealing with some issues. So if videos are a little later or whatever, that is the reason why. I'm not just leaving you guys hanging. And with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.